Good morning. Happy Saturday. Where on earth is the time going? Thanksgiving is now a fond memory. Hello and goodbye. Just as much as we anticipated, now it's already gone. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Good morning. This is Jan from New York City. Channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. And I truly love helping people keep some of their own hard earned money. Could that be you? Notice the words hard earned money. Welcome to the Saturday chat. I want to talk to you today about some stuff that we kind of sort of at times overlook or underlook or just don't utilize at all. And that's a big mistake because we are throwing money in the garbage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was watching one of those extreme budget type videos. I never really sat through any of them, not at all whatsoever. But one of them came up on my feed and it reminded me of something that I need to pass the word around. So I take no credit for this idea. But the lady that was on the video mentioned, okay, that how important it is. She was on some sort of extreme, like $5 budget type thing, of which, and it didn't include beans. I'm going to try to find that video and hook it up here. I think it would be most helpful for so many people who, especially during this a little bit more than usual expensive time of the year, really can stretch their budget. Now, hopefully, you have some Thanksgiving Day leftovers, but not everyone does. So, just for the record, not everyone gets to make, 2 more weeks worth of food from Thanksgiving. Not everyone. So that's why that particular video is like really, really important. And I'm going to hook it up in the description below. So check it out. I think the channel name is Ardent Michelle. I don't want to get it wrong, but I'm almost positive. And one of the things in that specific video, and what I love the most about that video, it does not include beans in the recipe. The whole world doesn't want to eat beans. I am just saying, but it was served as a reminder of like a simple thing like homemade biscuits, okay? And she includes that recipe in her video. And I'm thinking to myself, we got so used to many times always having, sliced bread or other styles of bread. And, some of the prices, okay, of sliced bread can be anywhere from the sublime to the ridiculous, okay? Where at least once, twice a month or whatever, however often your family might enjoy it, if you make your own homemade from scratch, okay? And that means like, using real flour and other ingredients. You see, this is the important thing that I want to mention in this morning's video. How important it is to have the key components, like back to basics, okay? Because the channel Ardent Michelle, demonstrates, I believe she got 14 biscuits out of her session of, stretching her budget. And let me tell you something, she did so many things with the biscuits, it wasn't even funny. And I have to say, if there was any possible way for me to take my hand, reach into my screen as I was viewing this video, and grab one of those biscuits out immediately and have one, I really wish I should have been able to do that. But the way those are made look, I mean, fairly simple enough that even Jan from New York City can make it. I'm just saying. But it serves as a reminder and the simplicity. Now, for example, I believe one of the meals was like literally like the biscuits with some sort of homemade gravy. Again from scratch. Cooking from scratch doesn't have to be this scary, I don't know, painstaking, arduous task that I think a lot of us just lack confidence in a lot of the things. Meantime, back at the ranch, it's actually not that hard. The other thing, I believe it's within the same video, not positive. I don't want to give all the goods away so that you get to watch this lovely video. and especially, the bare bones time of the month, and people are even having extra barer bones at this time of the month, getting ready for, the upcoming, Christmas holiday, which, could be very expensive. Life is as expensive as you want it to be. I am convinced about that. This is another thing that, for example, that type of video, I saw other videos like similar, but I kept going back to that channel, while I had an extra minute or two to observe some of these wonderful ideas. And they're all great. Don't get me wrong. They're all great. But for some reason, I kept going back to that particular channel. Now, as some of you might or might not know, I am not the biggest bean person on planet Earth, unless it's like kind of sort of like smothered in a can with that delicious flavoring from, let's say, and I don't get a thin dime for saying it. I'm just saying that I, totally love, Bush's beans products, the kind that's already done up, the baked ones, oh my word, the flavoring. But that also reminded me of something like maybe I could learn how to make my own flavorings like those other videos reminded me of that. Is there something that we do that we add extra expenses to our budget because they are just so delicious and wonderful and tangy. Now next week in real time, okay? In real time, so when I get officially back, which I'll be back on Monday, the 27th, officially back from my, it sort of took like a Thanksgiving vacation, which I'm really glad I did, and before you know it, I'll be taking a Christmas vacation, just saying, just saying. You could see why I love the fall, alright? I took a vacation, but not quite. I still put out my videos. You guys got your videos, and thank you so much for, commenting still as if, everything was just like business as usual. I tried to keep it as business as usual as possible. But let's get back to talking about, key things that we really, really should keep in our pantry. I think this is really of utmost importance, and that would be things like flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, sugar, and it doesn't have to be fancy sugar. Regular white sugar will do. Cinnamon, um, bouillon cubes for gravy. Now, don't get me wrong about the sugar. If you could have a little bit of the brown sugar, that's great too. But if you don't, you don't. Okay. I have substituted other things. You don't have to buy cinnamon sugar. You can make your own cinnamon sugar, by the way. The same goes for garlic salt. You don't have to buy garlic salt. Make your own garlic salt. Make it to taste. Highly recommend bouillon cubes to make your own gravy. That is a huge savings. You could do it in beef. You could do it in vegetable. You could do it in chicken. You could do it whatever flavor that's available. It's just a method. But having those bouillon cubes readily available is a money saver. I'm just saying. Always keep small cans of tomato sauce in your pantry, always, because you could do a gazillion things and you don't need a lot. See, a lot of people make a huge mistake with the tomato sauce. They think it always has to be those 28-ounce cans or whatever is the next size, 16 or whatever. Keeping the small cans of tomato sauce, what are they, 4 or 8 ounces? The small one, okay? Keeping a whole bunch of them available for different uses. For example, my mom taught me a long time ago, if you make ravioli, okay, let's say you boil some frozen ravioli. And by the way, what a bargain I got on ravioli. I'll tell you that in a minute. The little can each time. You don't need a ton of sauce for ravioli because it doesn't hold a ton of sauce. Mom was right. Thank you, Mom. So I still, use that trick. So you could get away with just small amounts of it. You can make your own marinara sauce. You don't have to buy a jar of marinara sauce. You could just take a small can. Uh, you could just sizzle up some garlic with oil, onion. You put in your marinara spices, whatever you like, and you got yourself marinara sauce. You could also make your own pizza sauce. There's just a few different ingredient changes. One being using oregano. Dried oregano is potent, so you need a pinch of that with the garlic. Ay, 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 a little Italian seasoning if you want. Boom, got your own. pizza sauce. You see, we need to keep ingredients that we can regenerate and continue to manufacture our own. Get it? That's why I always say I love to manufacture my own meals at home. I have been saying that for years, okay? And even if it's not just like the full meal, but the meal preps, okay? We could easily make our own Italian dressing. We could easily make our own vinaigrettes. Don't have to go out and buy those fully made things. We can make tons and tons of it as we go along. And that's the biggest mistake that I think people make. They don't buy enough ingredients of which or components, want to look at it like that, that we could reproduce and replicate so many other things. You see, for example, going back to the tomato sauce in the little cans. One little can could serve as a marinara sauce. One little can could serve as a pizza sauce. You see where I'm going with this? One little can can be used in a meatloaf moisturizing type recipe. If you really want to moisturize the inside of a meatloaf, especially a beef one, take one little can of tomato sauce and add it to your ground beef. It is a game changer. I like to do that in the beef one. Ay, 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 ay. Instead of ketchup, not everybody likes the ketchup flavor. This way you get the moistening of the tomato sauce with that bright tomato flavor. It is really good, and then you add your other, usual ingredients, and off you go. And you can even put a little bit of the tomato sauce on the outside of your meatloaf, especially in the last 10 minutes. So you could go a half a can inside of the meatloaf and a half of the little can outside of the meatloaf. I'm telling you, these little ingredients, this is what you can do to change up something completely. Okay. And if you have a very, very large carrot, some of these carrots are like monster sizes. Like, wow. You don't have to use up that whole carrot. You could take one carrot and use a third of it, slice it thinly, let's say in a soup recipe. Take another a component piece of that carrot, and what you can do is grate that into a salad. Take another of that carrot and use it in a homemade fried rice. These are things we can do on the cheap. We don't take enough advantage of the ingredients we already have. If you have a pantry that you haven't been looking at, go shop in your pantry in the next few days and ask yourself, what else can you do with that leftover turkey? I bet you can do an awful lot and not even look at it as the exactly same turkey that you had on Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for being here. I have to include that video. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Don't forget to come back on Sunday for another upcoming video with some more tips and tricks. Take care. Bye bye.